वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासां ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। अष्टप्रायेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो नलिननेत्राय वेणुवाद्यविनोदिने राधाधरसुधापानशालिने वनमालिने महाभावस्वरूपस्त्वं कृष्णप्रियवरीयसे प्रेमभक्ते प्रदे देवी श्रीराधिकात्मं नमोऽस्तुते। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 9 and text number 17. So we'll continue from the prayers offered by Dhruva Maharaj to their Lordship. So today's verse is the last verse of his wonderful prayers to their Lordship. As in the previous verse, he speaks about the goal of knowledge and why one should worship the Lord, who is realized in three different ways, as a Brahman, as Paramatma and Bhagavan. And especially he was offering his obeisances to impersonal feature of the Lord, that is Supreme Brahman. In today's verse, he is praying to that Lordship that let there be his blessings so that he can achieve the ultimate goal of human life. So let's see what he says. सत्याशीषो हि भगवस्तव पादपद्मम् आशीषस्तथा अनुभजता पुरुषार्थमूर्ते अप्येवमर्यं भगवान् परिपाति दीनान् वाष्णेव वत्सः अकम् अनुग्रहकातरो अस्मान्. He says, my Lord, O Supreme Lord, you are the supreme personified form of all benediction. Therefore, for one who abides in your devotional service with no other desire, worshipping your lotus feet is better than becoming king and lording it over a kingdom. That is a benediction of worshipping your lotus feet. To ignorant devotees like me, you are the causeless, merciful maintainer. Just like a cow who takes care of the newly born calf by supplying milk and giving it protection from attack. Vashreva vatsa anugraha kataro asma. Dhruva Maharaj was cognizant of the defective nature of his own devotional service. Pure devotional service is without material form and is not covered by mental speculation or fruitive activity. Pure devotional service is therefore called ahaituki, unmotivated. Dhruva Maharaj knew that he had come to worship the Lord in devotional service with a motive to get the kingdom of his father. Such an adulterated devotee can never see the Supreme Personality of the Godhead face to face. He therefore felt very grateful for the causeless mercy of the Lord. The Lord is so merciful that not only does he fulfill the desires of a devotee who is driven by the ignorance and desires for material benefit, but he also gives such a devotee all protection. Just as a cow gives milk to a newly born calf, in the Bhagavad Gita it is said that the Lord gives intelligence to the constantly engaged devotees so that he may gradually approach the Lord without difficulty. A devotee must be very sincere in his devotional service. Then, although there may be many things wrong on the devotee's part, Krishna will guide him and gradually elevate him to the highest position of the devotional service. Actually, after reading this particular line, I got some hope for myself to render devotional service. The Lord addressed herein by Dhruva Maharaj as a Purushartha Murati. The ultimate goal of life. Generally, Purushartha is taken to mean execution of a type of a religious principles or worship of God in order to get material benediction. Prayers for material benedictions are intended for satisfying the senses. And when one is frustrated and cannot fully satisfy the senses, in spite of all endeavor, he desires liberation or freedom from the material existence. These activities are generally called Purusharthas. But actually, the ultimate goal is to understand the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. This is called Pancham Purushartha, the ultimate goal of a life. Lord Chaitanya therefore taught us not to ask from the Supreme Personality any benediction such as material wealth, popularity, or a good wife. One should simply pray to the Lord to be constantly engaged in his transcendental loving service. Dhruva Maharaj, being cognizant of his desire for material benefit, wanted protection from Lord so that he might not be misled or deviated from the path of devotional service by material desires. Om Adhyanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Satyashisho hi Bhagavastava Pada Padmam Ashishas Tatha Anubhajataha Purushartha Murte Appeya Maryam Bhagavan Parishati Dina Vashreva Vatsaka Anugraha Kataro Asma. In this verse, two things that we need to understand. Especially Dhruva Maharaj, he speaks about his own state of a consciousness or his own level of devotional service that, or his way of worshipping Lord that he has explained. The first thing that we can understand from this verse, that outmost humility of a Dhruva Maharaj. And he compares that with the newly born calf. As that newly born calf is eager actually to get protected from cow. And by seeing that eagerness, actually cow, she shows her mercy by feeding that calf milk and protecting that calf from attacks. So Dhruva Maharaj, who is cognizant of his own defective nature of devotional service, it was not pure devotional service by which he intended to see the Lord. He desired the greatest planet or the greatest position from where no one can drag him down. And for that reason, he wanted to worship God. And in the previous verse, he himself says, actually, all these material opulences are sense gratifications, which are available in all sorts of material bodies. I'm again asking for the same thing, being a human being. And to indicate that being a human being, what is the goal of our life, he addressed their lordship as Purushartha Murti. And Prabhupada in purport, he says that these Purusharthas, namely Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, these are the considered as the achievements of human life. That being a human being, you should do dharma. You should work and walk on the righteous path. Then artha, the prayojan of dharma, worshipping the Lord or different demigods, is to artha, gaining wealth. And when wealth comes, it's meant for what? The people who really does not understand the real goal of life, for them, this artha is meant for kama. Kama is fulfilling material desires. Kama just does not mean the male and female attraction. But kama means everything that takes you away from the worship of Lord. That engages you in the sense gratification of our own, not the Lord. And as explained in the Vedic scripture, this kama, or the desire for sense gratification, is just like a fire. And endeavoring for that means pouring ghee into that. So that fire is not going to extinguish, but it's going to get intensified. And once he really burns out with that same kama, or that fire of lust, and still if he is a saint, he tries to get liberated from that. And then he looks for a moksha. Most of the people, they never go up to that stage. They get just burnt out in the material sense gratification, and they keep moving in the different spaces of life. But someone who really realizes that he's getting burnt, he tries to get away from that, and he works for moksha. But that moksha is also just getting rid of his material sufferings caused by kama. Not getting out of this cycle of birth and death. And when he really wants to work on that, then that is called as a Pancham Purushartha. Actually, this Pancham Purushartha terms is given by Lord Chaitanya. Before that, nobody has used this particular word as a Pancham Purushartha. And what is that Pancham Purushartha? That is devotional service. And that is the goal of human life. That's why here Prahlad Maharaj says, Anugraha Kataro Asman. My Lord, I am eager to get your Anugraha. What is this Anugraha means? Anugraha means the causeless mercy of the Lord. It's not that because you have done something, that's why Lord is pleased upon you and he has become merciful. No. Prabhupada in the purport, he says that even with contaminated heart, someone renders devotional service. Still, Lord, he overlooks on all his faults. And but he sees his real endeavor of constantly engaging in devotional service. He becomes merciful on him. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam. Dadami buddhiyodantam yena mam upayanti. He sees that even though with the fault, if that person is engaged in the service of the Lord, he gives him an intelligence. And by that intelligence, so what is that intelligence? That intelligence is to associate with the devotees, and in the association of devotees, he performs the devotional service. He walks on the path led by the Mahajanas. And that process actually, through that process, the intelligence that he gets, that saves him from his further fall down. That is Lord's mercy. Because the nature of this world is that sinking down. Everything here goes down. And spiritual life is meant for uplift you. So like the path of this material life and spiritual life, they are like totally opposite to each other. What Prabhupada says, the path of self-realization and sense gratification is go ill together. Like one is going to the south and another is going to the north. So how one can balance himself while rendering devotional service in this material world? And that happens only by the mercy of God. And that's why he here says to their Lordship, Satya Shishohi, Satya Ashishohi. Oh my Lord, the real benediction in this material world is Bhagavat Stava Pada Padmam. Oh my Lord, it's your lotus feet. That's the real benediction. And why is it so? Like once, Mother Lakshmi, she asked Lord Narayan, if you have you seen deities of Balaji? Any picture of that anywhere? Lord Venkatesha's picture? No. He has four hands. Two of his hands, they are holding Shankha and Chakra. One hand is like this, down. So what it shows? Once Mother Lakshmi asked Lord Narayan, why are you keeping this hand down? All other hands are up, and why this hand is particular down? Then Lord says that I have given everything that meant for sense gratification for the living entities in this material world. Everything. And that's why people who has everything, they think that they are the Lord. But one particular thing that he has, hide it out from all of us, for which we endeavor a lot. There are billion years, trillion years but they also look for that. Even a beggar or the most richest or wealthiest person in this universe, they are looking out for that. And that Lord has kept under his lotus feet. You want to know what is that? We actually don't know. That's why we travel here and there, run from pillar to post. That thing is peace of mind, shanti. And where that resides? That resides under the lotus feet of Lord. And that's the indication Lord shows. If you want real peace, then take shelter at my lotus feet. And that's the greatest benediction. And that's why Dhruva Maharaj says here, he says in the first line of this verse, Satya Shisho hi bhagavas tavapada. The real benediction is to achieve your lotus feet. Because that's what's going to give you abhaya. Abhaya means freedom from fear. And what is the greatest fear in this world? Huh? Death. Why is it so? Any specific reason for that? Huh? We? That's what you are understanding about death? That means we are not yet elevated. The people on the bodily platform of a life who consider themselves as a body, they think like that I'm not going to come back. But we are being a soul and part and parcel of the Lord, we are going to come back. Unless and until we really get purified ourselves. And the greatest fear people they think is a death because they consider themselves as a body, and when someone leaves his body, that process is called death. And they are really afraid of death. But when someone takes shelter at the lotus feet of Lord, taking shelter at the lotus feet of Lord means understanding our own position. What is our position? In the Chaitanya Shiksha Ashtakam, Lord Chaitanya says, the fifth verse. What is that fifth verse? Huh? Ai nanda tanuja kinkaram patitam maam vishame bhavam kripaya tavapada punkaja sthita dhuli sadrusham vichintaya. Our real position is like the dust, peck of dust at the lotus feet of the Lord. Because we are kinkara, we are his servant. There are many kinds of servants. But specifically Lord Chaitanya, he calls there Kinkara. What it means, Kinkara means. In Sanskrit, Kinkara means Kim Kuru iti pruchati sa. One who with folded hands asks his master, how I can serve you. That is Kinkara. So our real position is Kinkara. And Kinkara, he always stands right at the lotus feet of his master. That is our real position. And that's why he says here, Satya Shisho Bhagavans Tavapada Padmam. The real benediction is to attain your lotus feet. Because in the 11th canto, one of the purports, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that whoever takes shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, my Lord is so merciful, he picks that person and holds that person right on his chest. That is the mercy. Why one wants to take shelter at the lotus feet of Lord? Because Lord is so merciful. He picks that person and puts him on his chest. And that is the real goal of life. To attain that lotus feet. After hearing all these prayers, Lord, he gives the benediction to Dhruva Maharaj. He says, Vedaham te vyavasitam radi rajanya balaka tat para ichhami bhadram te durab amapi subrata. I know what was in your heart for which you performed this severe austerities with a seriousness and sincerity. So I'm going to give you that. When Lord said that, Dhruva Maharaj said, oh my Lord, no. I don't want this, Sthanavilashi tapasya sthitoham tvam praptavan devam rindraviyam. Kanchan vachinvam apidivyaratnam swamin krutato asmi varam nayacha. Oh my Lord, I know I was performing these severe austerities for sthana avilasha, for attaining the topmost place in this material universe. But now I have realized that I am foolish. Because I was endeavoring for that thing which is available in all these pieces of life. But now I got the diamond in my hands. And I was looking for the broken piece of a glass. After seeing you right in front of me, my heart is content. Varam nayachat. I don't want anything. But Lord says, okay, you don't want it, but I want to give it. Now it's my desire. You desired for, but now you realize that your desire is useless and is not worthy. But I would like to give you. Take this. And what he gave? He gave him a place which is not going to get annihilated even after the cosmic dissolution. All the planets, they move around him. And he gave him that Dhruvaloka, pole star. And he gave the full prediction of his life, what is going to happen in your life now. The first thing he told him that you are going to rule this whole universe for next 36,000 years. And he said, he added one thing in that. But your all bodily limbs will have same strength as you have right now. That means his body is not going to get decay for 36,000 years. And lastly, Lord says that Bhuktva chaya ashisha satya anti mam smarishyami. After enjoying this wonderful position for 36,000 years, ante mam smarishyas. See, at the end of life, you will remember me. And that's the real benediction. Prabhupada says in the purport that all endeavor in this human form of life to ante narayana smriti. Everything that we do in this, especially all the spiritual activities that we do in this human form of life, the ultimate goal is to remember their lordship at the time of death. But here Lord says that you will remember me ante, at the time of living this planet, not the body. Because Dhruva Maharaj, the one who went to the spiritual world with same body, he performed devotional service in such a way that he transformed this material body into the spiritual body while living on this material world. That's the glory of devotional service. So what we can learn from this particular prayers of Dhruva Maharaj is that anything that we desire materially is available in all these places of life. So asking for that to the Lord is a foolish way of rendering devotional service. Because Lord is not meant to give you all material benedictions. He is there to take you out of this material. So the most intelligent person, what he does, rather than asking anything from the Lord, he gives to the Lord. What he gives? His service. And that service is called as a bhakti, because bhaktya tushyati kevalam. Only the devotional service pleases the Supreme Personality of the God. And we have wonderful evidence here that rendering devotional service to the Lord according to the Lord's desire, or Krishna anukulena, favorable to Lord Krishna, what one can achieve? He can make this material body as a spiritual, and he can go to the spiritual world. And here we have Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, who rendered devotional service in such a way that Lord awarded him that benediction, that he went to the spiritual world with same material body. And Lord has given the result of performing devotional service. He himself has told him that at the time of leaving this world, you will remember me. As explained in the Garuda Puran, when someone leaves his body, the few moment itself, he sees the whole things has happened in his whole life. It's just like a trailer, you know. Before the movie comes, actually, they show the whole movie in small span of time. So he sees all the things fast forward, and he stuck where he was attached to. He remembers that and he dies, and again he comes back. So when you render devotional service, especially coming and having darshan of the Lordship, if you get stuck on the particular dressing and the darshan of the Lord, you are liberated. That's why Prabhupada says, if it is not possible for you to attend all the artis, at least come for darshan arti. That's what he told to Haridas. Because darshana, where Lord is ready to look upon you. It's not that we come to see him, but we come so that he can see us. And his glance will give you a real consciousness. So the gist of Dhruva Maharaja's prayer is never ask anything material from their Lordship, because he is there to give you the most spiritual thing, that is his shelter, his causeless mercy. Dhruva Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Thank you.